Welcome back to my channel. I suppose that I'm making this video as a sequel to my first video, which was titled I'd rather go broke than get a job. So it actually really comes down to my faith and my beliefs, and also my experience, because it's not like I've never worked in my life. Like, I have always had a job. I've worked so many different jobs. Like I've gone from one end of the spectrum to like another, to the other end of the spectrum. Like I literally have sold cars. Like, I have been a car salesman. I have been outside chasing people to come and talk to me so that I can sell them uh, a car. Yeah, like, I have sold cars. I've made a lot of money. I've taught English in South Korea. I did that for 2 years. It was like one of the most amazing experiences in my life, and I would do it all over again if I could. Like, go back and do it again. I wouldn't do it again today. So then I moved to Paris. I've been living in Paris for almost 5 years. I worked in retail. I started just by applying. I took my resumes and I walked down the streets, Rue Saint-Honoré, Avenue de Montagne, and I handed out my resume, and I got a job on Rue Saint-Honoré, and I worked there very briefly because then I got fired, because my French wasn't good enough. Like, it was like really basic French, and I'm not a good salesperson, and yeah, like, hello, like, I hardly spoke French, and it was mostly French people. Anyway, so then I got another job, and yeah, this is another story. Like, I'm definitely going to talk about this stuff because it's pretty remarkable. But anyway, I've worked in low fashion and retail at the bottom, and I've worked in the offices of high luxury companies. I have busted my ass off, and I've made money, and I've also lost money. But today I refuse to look for a job. I did it. I'm over it. I'm not looking for a job anymore. Like, I'm relying on my faith, and I'm relying on the spiritual plane. And it's because I just come to the realization that I don't belong in a job, and it's always actually been this for me. I've always only wanted to work. I've always just wanted my own brand. I've always wanted to be my own boss, but it's never worked out that way. Like, have never really been focused enough, or just no opportunity has come in, or just, there hasn't been like that sort of thing where I could just like, oh, okay, like, I'm taking it and I'm going for it. Like, actually, now is the time that I'm doing it, but it's really not even that obvious yet. But I'm just kind of like going with the flow, like, I want to be water, and I don't want to resist anything, and I don't want to force anything, and that's what I had been doing. So another thing about me is that I got fired from my dream job, and I was so devastated. There's a lot of layers to that. It wasn't just that I got fired, and there's a lot of like layers there that had a huge impact on me and my emotional state, and I was depressed for a while, and then kind of got out of that depression and started looking again for jobs, but it just wasn't working. Like, it just wasn't working. So then I stopped for a while, and then started to like think about some extreme things I could do to make money, and I didn't try, but I went to like the first step, and I was just like, no, this is not for me. And then just one day I was like, okay, God, like, what do you want me to do here? Like, I've tried so hard to find a job, that same day I basically got a job, another job. I worked there for a month, and then I quit because it was just not right. And that is the day that I chose to, because I said, I'm not going to allow again fear to keep me in a place where I don't belong, you know? Because if I were to stay there, it would be because I was afraid of money, of not having money. So it would be like I would be living in lack, and I would be like forcing something that it just isn't mine, because it's like somebody has a gun at the back of me, like at my back, forcing me to do something, you know. So I'm afraid to like do what I actually want to do because I'm afraid of getting shot, you know. And that is actually something that I have done back in the past, in my 20s, where I just like was working these jobs that I didn't want to work, that it just wasn't me, because I was afraid of not having money, you know. And just bad things happen. Like my boss, you know, ended up like, you know, trying to blackmail me. So I'm just over it. I'm just so over this working force and trying to be like this good worker, when it doesn't matter how good you are and how honest you are and how, you know, how such a a good person you are inside, and how hard you work. Like, people are always going to step on you, especially people like me. I don't know, because I'm very honest and because I'm actually a kind person. And especially in Paris, you know, in big cities and in fashion. And that's really where I want to be, is fashion. But I'm not going to be a desperate person. Like, there's so many desperate people in the fashion industry, because they are not enough without fashion. Like, they need to be in this industry that is so worshipped and comfortable. And I understand, because it is really cool to work in fashion, and like people, you know, really are like, wow, you work in fashion. So it really, like, your ego gets, you know, kind of a bit big, and that's what happened to me, actually. So anyway, I kind of stopped where I stopped living for the earthly things, because I realized that it's just not for me. God just did not have that choosing for me. He did not choose that path for me. I'm not of this earthly world. Like, I am definitely a lot more spiritual, and it's like the perfect child. Like, I was just content and not crying and just looking around and observing, and I mean, I've just been that kind of person. I'm not competitive. I'm not, I'm just, the two things that I'm really good at is just being myself, and I guess talking about spiritual things, or like just that spiritual world. And I'm not talking about spirits and like ghosts and stuff. I'm talking about like the inner workings of your mind and your spirit and your soul. Yeah, like, I don't want to have these fears of lack, and I want to rely on my faith, and I believe that means relying on God, and because I want to get closer to God. And I know that, like, by getting a job, normally you're around people who are not godly, who are living of the earth. And so, and I'm the type of person that loves to, I want to be liked. I want people to like me, and I kind of give in to the peer pressure, and I go out with them, and I go, drinking, and it's not like I don't have anything against that. It's just that I'm a very weak person, like, energetically. Like, I have to be really careful with my energy. I don't know, I've always cringed at LinkedIn. I've always cringed at fake people. I've always cringed at ass kissers. Like, I am not an ass kisser, and that is one of the reasons that I got fired at my last job. I can't do it. And yeah, I just want to get closer to God, and I want to really live for Him. And yesterday I watched the video. Maybe I'll put in the link, and it's Oprah. I love Oprah. Who doesn't? And she's talking about how we should ask our Creator, what is your dream for me? It's like asking, like, how can I live for you, like you direct me, and actually it's so true. Like in the Bible, shout out to my Bible believers. I love the Bible. In the Bible, there's I forgot I will write it down, but there is a verse that says, um, oh my gosh, trust in the Lord with all thy heart, and lean not unto thine own understandings. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. And I think that is such a beautiful Bible verse, because it really shows you that, God is there for you, and you don't have to live this life on your own. Like he can carry your burden. Just ask him to carry your burden. And so that's what I am doing. Like I'm literally just asking God, the higher being, the source, to carry my burden, because I couldn't, it just didn't feel right even looking for jobs. So God gave me this last job, but just to show me that this is not for you. So I'm just kind of like, okay, God, so what do you want me to do then? And I think that he just wants me to be still and to know that he is God. And that is another Bible verse, but I will link it. But yeah, it says, be still and know that I am God. And that is what I'm trying to do. I get closer to God, and I want to test him, and I want to see his wonders in me. I want to see his miracles. And I think that is what I'm living for. And I think that is just, for me personally, that is just a so much better way to live. Many more things that I want to speak about in the future, so stick around. And if you do like these talks, let me know. I would love your comments. I would love for you to like and subscribe, and yeah, just to let me know if this is something that you're interested in. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's all that I have to say right now. So I hope that clears out that my first video. And if you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscribes, and yeah, thank you for my 5 subscribers. I'm I'm so blessed. Thank you. I'm so thankful, so grateful for those 5 people. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day. Bye bye.